This episode is beautiful and contains a correction of many wrong concepts. I hope you will complete it for the next one, and we will also see our father in it with a complete roast as he runs after a man with a devil in him. Let's start with some light news. Summer posted the photo by Dr. It was written on it, the blessing of the Egyptian army. People are workers who all fight with each other, and the whole area and gore. Terrorism and wars. One Egyptian holding his phone. Workers watch a match. Al Ahly and Zamalek are in the Super League. Dr. Khaled Montaza came to me and published this news. He is from Cairo 24. What is it written in? In the courtyards of Magdi Abdel Ghani, the Gvir family, the cemeteries of Tanroy, a talisman of the believer Zakaria al-Tarbi was found, who was digging to plant. His cactus found a black bag in the cemetery of the Oral Imam. The bag contained works of paper with tomato written on it. It had a picture of the believer Zakaria written on it in red, and with it was the bride of the house cloth in which we found the works owned by Captain Magdi Abdel Ghani. 100, and her money. We put these things in it. We contacted Mahim al-Zakaria and tried to remove the writing from the picture and the talisman, but we did not know Dr. Khaled Monteza, so they provoked the post, and this news was shared and written. This is similar to Stephen Hawking's illness, but here in Gadid, Egypt, it is said that its cause is work and buried in a crossing, and we enter envy, modernity, and jinn, which is from it. In Britain, they are researching, studying, and working for Hawking a special computer with a signal from his nose, from the tip of his eye. The noise turns into words, and people can understand him. And I have lectures in which he pays 1,000 to favor Hawking, the most important physicist of this century. Einstein's successor is different. Mentalities? Of course, there were many comments. Ahmed Ali wrote to him, Motto Britain, I live there. This is your philosophy. Dr. Khaled responded to it and said to me, man, and to whom will I leave you? Mustafa Sulaiman wrote, okay, what will be written from there is also from Britain. What does the difference mean? Lewis wrote, why don't they do work for Israel? Okay, I put it on all of them. And Amr wrote that they must answer something from Qatar, Netanyahu, Georgette, and Sharkawi. I wrote about the shame of publishing this nonsense in newspapers and websites. No country in the world acts like this, as if they are deliberately missing. Minds. Shehata wrote that minds are the ones buried, doctor, under 7 symptoms. He said, this means that we know the cause of the disease. They created a department in the Faculty of Medicine and named it Sham Horsh for the alleged diseases resulting from magic. He published the photo of Yunis Shalabi and Saeed Saleh as he said to him, praise be to God. We were going to be lost, my grandfather. Naji al-Sharqawi wrote, doctor, there is no use. You carve in rock? It's not possible to make material books. The difference in mentalities is like light years between light and darkness. Magdi books. It's not a difference in mechanisms. This is a difference of light years between light and darkness. Hossam Kateb, football player Moamen Zakaria Musab, has an immune disease called. Or muscle sclerosis, which is an incurable disease, and with time his ability to move, swallow, and breathe will stop, and that time will be the end. That is, phrases such as those waiting for you in stadiums, etc., are meaningless phrases and will not work. Only to increase his psychological pain. Pray for mercy and patience. Ali has written that until now, there is no sheikh capable of mocking a genie who works magic for us and brings us dollars, and we remain a song, okay? No dollars. They do not know how to do the right thing and mock a genie. They defeat America and Israel with it. Abdel Fattah wrote. Okay, from the amazing progress of our neighbor, who is still hunting the biggest head in the biggest party after it blew up its elements remotely using technology, and we are still saying magic, deeds, and empty talk, that has no meaning, but it is of no use. Muhammad Hani wrote, "What is Stephen Hawking? He had a job too, doctor, and he was buried in the hole of the Azure. He didn't write aspiration. We can get a hair." Netanyahu, not even in vanilla. "We will give it to Sham Aurash, and he will do work for him in the forest so that we can make him angry and solve those who are against us." I wrote, "I read the post that is from Cairo 24, and I expected that you would make your heart tired. It's no use, doctor. They put it in salt, they put it in water. People die of bacteria, not goblins." Muhammad wrote Taba, saw the image or work, Talassa, and returned a natural believer as long as it is the reason, and we believe him to you, easy and simple. Amr wrote ignorance. It is eaten in Egypt like licorice. Oh, 1,000 limitations on you, my country, Abed wrote. I mean, the region is passionate about us, and you are workers talking about work and they did not work. My grandfather wrote Elon Musk, "I want to implement the idea of a device that the blind can see while we are still working in quackery." What is the need for Dr. Khaled Montesa to publish another post from Cairo 24? He is apparently a follower of this site. Is this the news? He says he prohibits genital organ donation. Fatwa. Clarifies the conditions for organ donation. Commenting on the news, "The area is burning around us and our body of scientists is busy with this news." Jasim, you wrote that we did not hear your voice. I mean, yesterday the world was burning around us and there was a match between my family and your friend. Dr. Khaled responded to her and said to her, "What Hajjah? I forgot to go and burn myself for my land. How can I watch a match and leave the great fighter behind? Gus who? Guevara and she's going?" Jerusalem. After this fatwa, Ahmed officially wrote that the Sheikhs of Morocco declined to second place behind the Sheikhs of al-Dunya. Nermeen wrote frankly that they have a possible right due to the donation of genital organs. Mixing of Egyptian eagle lineages occurs. Countries on another planet wrote. Also Dr. Khaled Montesa wrote, "The brutality of entering a war without a warplane is akin to wielding a merciless weapon." Moral fact, the warplane chameleon, the key to the resolution. Ahmed wrote him medicine, Vietnam. The war with America ended without it having a pilot. George responded to it and told him that time was different from time. Technological progress is the decisive factor. Ayman also responded to him and told him simply because the American army entered Vietnam. He was defeated, and Israel knew that if it entered the land, it would be defeated, so it used military aviation and intelligence. To kill the commanders, Ibrahim kept responding to them. He told them to read about the Vietnamese Air Force and what they did with the MiG against the Phantom and Dr. Khaled Montesa. Clear the picture? What did he say to them? Vietnam? The Soviet Union had all types of weapons with it, and it was hunting American soldiers with all weapons, including aviation, light. Your information is amazing. You haven't come across the MiGs active in Vietnam? Could it be separate from the Russian air defense framework? The one they gave it was Vietnam, and Mohammed supported Dr. Khaled Montesa and wrote to him, "Who told you this nonsense? Vietnam? It had Korean and Russian air defense systems, American MiGs, and chloroform. Vietnam would have received support from China and the Soviet Union, even in battles in which the Chinese army participated, had it not been for China and the Soviet Union." Vietnam wasn't even on the radar. Nasser communicated with Dr. Montesa. Lying down is the solution, so Dr. Khaled told him, "No, science is the solution. It is to get out of your scientific backwardness." Refrain from referring to sheikhs as scientists. Yasser penned to Dr. Khaled that there were significant differences in opinions. "We have neglected to honor the valiant people of Port Said, the unsung heroes of resistance, a monumental pride with unmatched sacrifices, shedding the blood of millions." Dr. Khaled inquired, "Why? Don't we have aircraft? Did you assume we entered October without it?" A non-aircraft is at the primary strength. deep in the enemy, we would have been able to continue? Ayman wrote the first reason for Egypt's defeat in the Six-Day War, the lack of the Iron Dome system, to deter aviation that penetrated the airspace. The planes were on a combat tour on a round trip, and when the mistake was corrected, we shot down the warplanes in large numbers, and the balance of power approached each other. The surprise night airstrike orchestrated by Mubarak. Achieving objectives as soldiers traverse the canal's banks, Israel's advancement isn't random. It involves meticulous planning, comprehension, and scholarly research. Modern warfare isn't straightforward invasion. It entails technology application and strategic disruption without direct confrontation, leading to adversarial self-destruction. Israel excels in these facets. Egypt articulated its backing for Israel not just with advanced technology, but with first-class intelligence information from agents and spies. Maya Abdel Fattah wrote, "We are fighting in the Bozo, Shapsi, and Pepsi boycotts. This is the last of us, Doctor." Dr. Khaled also published this unfortunate news. This is the harassing doctor igniting social media, and it was published by the Talk and Urgent page. Comments flooded the X platform on videos posted by the iTalk page, which focuses on women's rights, which we were subjected to harassment and supported psychologically and legally, concerns a doctor who graduated from Al-Azhar University in Cairo while he harassed a number of girls in the company of his colleagues, and this news is from Cairo 24. He used to say that when the world is elegant, touch her body, and security examines videos of doctors bragging about their harassment of patients, and Dr. Khaled wrote, "God willing, on piety and piety, Al-Azhar Boys Medicine." I don't believe the warning. To also confirm this news, it was announced after Al-Ahli's loss to the African Super Cup. My dream to Laila Abdel Latif, do not talk about football again, or my soul, comment on Real Madrid. She said that Al-Ahli would win, and Zamalek did not happen. He was the one who also won, Dr. Khaled Montasser. The post is hot. This news is written by a sheikh who reveals a surprise regarding Moamen Zakaria's illness. Moamen Zakaria was caused by magic after he refused to sign for a club. The one who mocked the jinn to harm Moamen Zakaria is not the president of a club. The mediator beats the coach so as not to expose his age. I do not seek any fame and rejected television shows. Moamen needs treatment with 10 sessions of rakia. Legality is a great coach in Egypt. The jinn mocked Zakaria as his punishment. The mediator between the coach and the witch, he received 20,000 pounds. Why did Zakaria gain magic through eating and drinking? I learned during one of the Sharia Ruqaya sessions that there was a jinn who was willing to harm him, that is, a healer of the Quran who could treat a believer, God willing. Dr. Khaled Montasser wrote in a comment on the statements of Sheikh Urina, the Sheikh's uncle, how will he treat what? With 10 sessions of legal treatment, you treated the easiest virus C. We finished legal treatment and Abu al-Ibn to treat it. Mujahid is a Jewish doctor named Shinazi, and he saved us on the idea of Shinazi. He does not know a legal vision or 7 dates, and we want to defeat Israel, my brother. Also in the comments, Dr. Khaled wrote, written on the walls and under the bridges in the most important places now, the telephone numbers of therapists in the legal Ruqayah and Kamal Road, and on television. Also, Dr. J. Muhammad wrote, Doctor, this is a dangerous file, and you need to be affected by clean. You have government employees in government hospitals treated in this way. Don't take it as irony. There is even a bitter reality irony will not save. The poor people need to delve deeper into this file. It is a great opportunity as long as it is opened in this way. I wish someone would write seriously and understand why the jinn in love and the eye that cut the stone exist only in the group of countries of Karavistan, and the photo was published by Dadot, whose wealth is 400. $1,000 in the image of this picture unit. is spread monthly, and I see 1,000 around the world, and we have Muhammad, who is afraid of her neighbor Allah because she envies her new refrigerator. Let's see the rest of our father's story with the man who was Satan. Our father actually happened to have a whole barbecue running after a man with a demon. One day the devil traces a whirlwind. Inside a family that our father takes care of, this husband has become so the wife had no choice but to ask her son to go to the church to bring our father to us, and the loving father came to our father immediately, and then Satan provoked the husband even more, and he said to him, "Do you want to put pressure on me through our father? Well, I'm going down and I won't come home again." He said this and left, but our father followed after a while. The husband said, "Father, don't tire yourself, I won't return." Our father replied, "I can't leave you alone when you're so tired." The husband hurried until he was out of sight, but our father rushed after him. The husband stopped and said, "People know you are our son." He wanted to preserve his dignity. But in the face of this paternal love, the husband wanted to put an end to our father's presence with him, so his thinking guided him to a way that she thought would free him from the siege of love that our father completely imposed on him. The husband sat on the sidewalk and said to Buna, "Okay, sit down when I see what you will do." Very simply. And without hesitation, they are happy with something complete. In front of all passers-by, and he is saying, "Okay," which means this is also a rule that is next to it, is the husband's burlap. He said to him, "Our Father, all people see you. I honor you. Our Father." The Holy Father answered, "What? I mean, Christ did not come down to the feet of his disciples and wash them. He did not want me to sit next to his son while he was tired, so the devil was burned." In front of this astonishing humility, the same husband fell into him and calmly surrendered to him. Tears are abundant in his eyes, and he tells us, "What do we want to do, Buna?" He told him to go back to another house. The husband returned, and this was the last whirlwind for this family, for a priest who learned how to descend to the two men in a true follower. The blessing of the prayer of the Holy Father in a complete show be with us all, and may the name of the Lord be glorified. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel and do the bell to get everything new, and share us with the student comments. Thanks to all the fans and followers. Thank you.